Right then, magical Monday morning, except it's not so magical. It's a good thing I had a good day yesterday. Got almost everything done on my list. Went out and got that big fish. Got to see that cool moonrise. Yeah. Today, when I started the Jeep, here we go with the nickeling and diming that I was talking about, but I'm glad that I didn't do the trade, and now Drooling Frank has to deal with this. But the battery light came on again on the dash. Yeah, so brand new battery, brand new alternator as of this spring or late winter. Brand new cable ends on the battery cables. Battery light comes on. I had to go into town to get fuel so I could make it to work. And when I went to start the Jeep at the gas station, she dragged a little bit. Man, I'm like, what's going on? So I head into work and I say a prayer to Yahweh, help me get there. Jesus, take the wheel. And I got here. And now the Jeep is nosed up to the building, and I stopped back at the house on the way out and grabbed my battery charger out of the boat. And now that's hooked up to the battery to charge all day long, top it off. And then after work, I'm going to go to O'Reilly's and have them test again. Yeah, test that new battery. Those can be defective right out of the box. And test the alternator. Fun. Something's not right. So gotta deal with that. I gotta go to the grocery store tonight. Pretty near out of food. I'm trying to think of a way to get down to Central and pick up that rock glue. We're not supposed to get rain middle part of this week. It's supposed to be warm, high 70s to mid 80s. Perfect time to glue down the rocks in the driveway. But it's sitting at Home Depot in Central, and Mia's not coming up anytime soon, so her devotion and dedication is to that Amish mafia. So I gotta figure out a way to get down there and get it. You know, there's a distinct possibility I could wait until next weekend when I go down to the trailer again to work on the trailer, but I'd like to have it sooner. So I might just, I don't know. The pressing thing right now is figuring out what's wrong with the Jeep. And if the alternator's defective, it's got a warranty. They'll give me another alternator. I go home and I put an alternator in it. Do that job again. Yeah. It's not so bad, but yeah. Ugh. Never ends. There's always something. All that, and I got to figure out when I want to take this week's vacation to work on the trailer. Yep. But I'm glad I didn't trade with Frank on the Jeep because he'd be calling me. I told him about the battery light coming on. Sometimes it comes on when you start it and it doesn't go off. and then you shut the Jeep off and you start it again, and it goes away. It was doing that for about a week. Now, this morning, I tried that, and it stayed on. So, and then it sounded weak when it tried to start at the gas station. So, there's something wrong. Don't know. Today's gonna suck. I can always tell when DTR's been up in my area poking around. Nothing but putting on parts. First customer I gotta go to filed a complaint against me a couple of years ago. Didn't want me ever to come back. Misinterpreted my friendliness as flirting. No. The conversation wasn't even about anything pertaining to that sort of stuff. I was just being my usual outward, friendly, happy-go-lucky self, joking, whatever, but not anything sexual or suggestive or anything like that. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, she filed a complaint. And after that, they send DTR up to her. Because he's a harmless, white-haired, potato-shaped old man, so there's no threat there. You should hear what he talks about behind the scenes, though. Pervert. But anyway, so I gotta go there and put on his parts that he ordered for her stove and her refrigerator. I don't know. You know, that's the first call. And then the other ones are put in a drawer in a freezer, a basket, put a bottom shield pan in an oven that the ceramic's cracking. Put in a craft ice maker. That one's gonna suck. That refrigerator's stuffed in a corner, and I gotta drag your refrigerator out into the kitchen to turn it far enough to open up the freezer door far enough to work on the ice maker. And then it's a side-by-side, so the freezer's only like this wide. You can't get in there with two hands. It's not fun. But these people are big drinkers, and they like those round balls of ice in their mixed drinks. I don't know. The skies are looking threatening like rain. I hope we don't get any downpours that turn into a trout stream. I'm really hoping. All that grass seed for waste. I was thinking about I probably should have scarified the dirt before I did that. I have the scarifier tool, but I didn't want to do it because there's a lot of rocks and roots and stuff in that area, and I'd just destroy the blades on that scarifier. But I'm thinking I should have done it anyway, just to loosen everything up, so that the grass seed isn't just sitting on flat soil. It's got tooth grip. I don't know. We'll see. It's an experiment. All right. Mia chimed in this morning. All friendly, but not very hallmark. So, I don't know. It's starting to drive me nuts. But she's off being loyal to the Amish Mafia. So it is what it is. All right, that's all I got. So we'll keep it short and sweet, I guess. Boring, right? And we'll talk to you soon.